Before we start, a quick and permanent disclaimer. Epic Games as a developer does not uphold industry standards. Covering Fortnite and its associated content does not change the fact or distract from the fact that Epic Games have engaged in wrongful layoffs and replacing concept art with generative AI. This harms human creators, it harms the environment. Until Epic Games fulfills its economic obligations, this disclaimer will be at the very front of every video on any of their products or services. It's me, Pup. How are you doing? After years of constant rumor and speculation, it seems that the pigs are finally flying because Sonic the Hedgehog is finally properly coming to Fortnite. Last October, we did get the very first Sonic Fortnite collaboration, which was a car with Sonic decorations on it. I'm guessing Sega were just testing the water for that one. And Sega, please get the message. Stop fucking testing the water and just dive in for once. All your progress takes way too long all the time. What does Sonic say? Gotta go fast? Do that. Just do that. You don't need to keep gauging interest in shit. Just go on social media and see what people say. Or maybe we'll start properly doing some storytelling in IDW, which we just don't know. We need to test the water for... No, just get on with it, mate. Just get on with it. But now that they're done testing the waters, we actually have a proper Sonic Fortnite collaboration. And I want to be clear what my expectations were for a Sonic Fortnite collaboration. Just a Sonic skin. Let me play as Sonic, and that's it. That is all I needed. However, I did also grow to understand that maybe getting Sonic in Fortnite proportions might be easier said than done. Like, sure, there are ways of making Sonic look good with the Fortnite proportions, as a number of different fan artists have demonstrated. And if I've learned anything from my time doing 3D models, it is that you can make fundamental changes to character anatomy without really having to change the skeleton of the character. That said, Fortnite does have an abundance of stock animations that have to fit the model as well. Is this run here going to look good with this Sonic here? So while it was something I definitely wanted to see, I was aware that this was going to be some form of challenge. That said, Epic Games, Sega, they have the money to do that, even if they like fucking acting like they don't. Oh, look at me, I'm a multi-billion-dollar corporation who cannot afford to uphold economic responsibility. Oh, bitch. That's how you look, guys, when you use AI, I'm just saying. Is that the look you want for your company?
Is this what you want?
Another obstacle is that Sega are incredibly fucking precious about Sonic standards, ensuring that Sonic matches up everywhere you look. Because these 20-year-old models are perfect, you wouldn't want to move away from that in any fashion. Alright, I'm gonna drop the sarcasm, it really is the lowest form of wit. Sega could have done the Crash Bandicoot thing with Fortnite and just be like, you know what, just doesn't matter if it makes any sense or not, or looks good or not, just stick him in there. Crash looks like he's got a parasite up his bunghole that makes him eternally constipated while he's also incredibly high. But to be fair, is that not just Crash Bandicoot in general? Like, that fits the character, right? But while I was just expecting one weird skin, or maybe a companion, I think the companions are a great way to go when you got Short King characters, I'm quite surprised to see that Sega actually invested in the full kit and caboodle when it comes to Sonic. And this could end up being one of the better products that we can actually buy for the 35th anniversary, as opposed to an unexplained DNA statue that the consumer has absolutely nothing to do with. Like, you might as well just announce a fruit basket for Takashi Iizuka at this point as a 35th anniversary reward. But this time we actually got some products to play with here. First things first, we've got Green Hill Zone as a part of the Fortnite map. If you've been following my content since the Sonic Frontiers hype era, you might be aware that I'm pretty tired of them just whoring out Green Hill Zone for no reason. It's the first level, it's our introduction to Sonic, it's sacred, treated as such. But I've also made clear that when it comes to crossovers and stuff like that, you do want one of the most identifiable locations in the entire franchise. So looking at the most classic of classic Sonic zones and putting them on a Fortnite map is kind of the best thing they could do there. We also saw that there's going to be a Spin Dash Mythic, and I'm very eager to see how that controls. The Fortnite developers did a great job when it came to things like web swinging for Spider-Man, so I'm intrigued to see if physics plays a role in the Spin Dash here, like it did with their web swing system. There's going to be a tails glider, so like when you're falling down, you have the tails whirring, and I think that's great too. But then we got the skins themselves, and well, I guess Skinwalker is the more correct term here. When I first laid eyes upon Fortnite Sonic, I was not happy with what I was seeing. Brother, you can see he's got a human-shaped torso rather than his usual little bean. His hands aren't even a slightly exaggerated size. They are just regular hands, which makes it look like his elbows bend way too low down. The snoot rides up too high, as do the ears, while the face droops too low. Oh, damn, I just realized you guys are not ready to hear this now, are you? Yeah, it's great. Again, let's be real, he's never going to look normal in Fortnite. Even if you nail the anatomy down, Sonic is probably the #1 source of short king representation, and you're gonna have him stand head-to-head with 6-foot characters like Superman? Oh my god, we're gonna see Sonic side by side with Superman. For more than a single panel, of course. Oh my god, Sonic side by side with Spider-Man. Look, see, I can enjoy a corporate crossover just when it's relegated to a place where that works, you know? Fortnite is kind of like the one place you can get away with this, maybe Lego. But for all I've joked, there is actually a little something that made me actually feel a little bit of affection towards this gangly, weird skinwalker Sonic. Maybe the fact that in-universe, that's exactly what he is. So for this event, the official Sonic social medias released a brand new Sonic x Fortnite webcomic for you to read, which sets up the story of this upcoming Fortnite season, and justifies this wacky new design. Dr. Eggman has teamed up with Fortnite villain Geno. I know nothing about this, by the way. And the two have plans to conquer side by side. Eggman is very quick to make friends with anyone else who identifies as a villain these days. Tails gives chase, and he ends up in the Fortnite world. Immediately, I want to point out some deep, potentially coincidental lore. I was always worried that we'd never get a follow-up on the character conclusions from Sonic Frontiers. Tails going it alone to be an independent hero, Knuckles occasionally going away from the Master Emerald, which is really no change to be honest, and Amy going far away to have the great polyamory tour or something.
When this is over, I want to share that love with the world.
I really need to know what she meant by that. Well, here, Tails has been operating independently and went after Eggman himself. Amy is nowhere to be seen. And Knuckles. I mean, this isn't completely inconsistent with what he said, but of course, if these 3 Hedgehog and Echidna men go into that portal, they risk never coming back out again. Sonic is eager to just go anyway. But Shadow and Knuckles both object, and you know what? This is completely, what's the word of the day? Egosyntonic. This is completely egosyntonic with their characters. Look it up. You'll see that I actually used that word correctly. I learned it on Facebook today. Shadow swore to protect this world, and so he's going to do that. Knuckles, whether he, occasionally goes away from it or not, still has obligations to the Master Emerald. But it's Tails who tells Sonic, do not go through the portal, because you know he would anyway. I tell you what, the characterization in this comic here is really good. This is a lot better than most of IDW's recent servings. God, I love how Sonic is drawn in this. He's such a goober. Also, the coloring and lighting here is really nice too. Just across the board, this is a great looking comic. Tails doesn't want Sonic to go through the portal because it's not necessary. He's found a way. Mechanical avatars he constructed out of salvage, and to be honest, did he need to make them look like the guys? That's really funny. Tails, you're so cute, dude. You're so fucking cute. So outrock up 6-foot-tall, lanky versions of Sonic, Knuckles, and Shadow, with mechanical augmentations on their shoulders, their hips, and their socks. And now it all becomes clear. You ever try making a Sonic model with shoulders? This tends to happen. It's why people usually either choose to make them blue, or they will just disconnect the arms from the shoulders entirely. So they've clearly put these little mechanical appendages over the shoulders to hide how probably disgusting they look. And it really is probably for the best. However, it also sells that these are mechanical versions of the characters. Tails has made sure that they will act with the character's interests in mind and won't go rogue or anything like that. And off they go into battle. Meaning that Sonic is still a silly, noodly guy, he's still a short king, and that what we're seeing in Fortnite are avatars. This is not the first time there's been a fun tie-in to explain why a character with otherwise short proportions has been stretched for Fortnite. The Amazing Digital Circus did the exact same thing. I end up liking this as an opportunity for creativity, but I also end up liking the skin a lot more because it's not meant to be Sonic, just a means of representing that character in that world. Suddenly, this clear compromise and clash of art styles feels charming rather than distracting. And seeing Sonic front and center of a gaming legends-themed season of Fortnite really shows where the character is at in pop culture right now. But this comic is also indicative of what we can expect from Sonic and Fortnite as well, beyond what we've already established. Shadow and Knuckles are also set to be unlockable skins for Fortnite, as well as Dr. Eggman. Eggman himself doesn't actually look too different. My original prediction was that Eggman would be the skin and that Sonic and Tails would be companions. And to be honest, I'd have liked that too. But I did not foresee us getting 4 skins. 4 skins. It could even be more. Maybe Super Sonic is unlockable, or maybe Metal Sonic. He did appear in the comic after all. So he will be on the Fortnite island, and he's probably the easiest character to make look good in Fortnite proportions. Also, Tails is visible on the poster. My guess is that he's going to be a companion, which would make sense given that no stretched out mechanical version of Tails has been established yet. Would probably look just too weird as well, maybe. But here's a question. Where's Amy? She is the de facto fourth member of this squad. Where is she? I hope we get her maybe later. Maybe as a companion or something. Like, she'd complete the set. Oh, they'd have to match her up with a Fortnite girl body, wouldn't they? Haha, wouldn't that be something? But there is one more thing I wanted to touch on. The shading style of these skins. They are cel-shaded, and in a way that quite nicely matches up with the upcoming 35th anniversary short by Studio Gigex. And I really love this shading style, by the way. But the fact is, Sega have been quite rigid on their established art style, including the shading style for the Sonic characters. Cel-shading them here in-game was certainly a choice, and one that leads me to wonder if this is perhaps indicative of how Sonic games could look in the future. And I've had some folks tell me, oh, Fortnite just styles cartoon characters that way. But counterpoint, did you just look away from the screen whenever Sonic wasn't on it? Maybe Sonic Frontiers 2 will be a cel-shaded title. That's my kind of, I guess, expectation anyway, is that the models won't really change much from what we've got already, but that they'll be cel-shaded, in which case I think conversations will still continue with continual feedback on how the models look, but I think with cel-shading they'll certainly look better. Come on, Sega, though. Like, make the next Sonic game look like this. As it is, this is a lot more than what I was expecting. This more than makes up for the little car situation we had last year. Do I think they could have maybe given us a more authentic Sonic skin? Sure, there's definitely fan art that backs that up, but obviously you'd need a higher budget per skin to do that, and maybe we wouldn't get everything else here. Then you know what, okay, I can maybe vibe with it. His head's still looking a little droopy though, so just do this. Come on, you gotta admit that's better, right? Oh wait, no, you won't, will you? Because it's recent at the moment, so it's perfect. Hell yeah, cool stuff. But also, hey, look, it's Spyro, hell yeah. Video over, Patron time. With a out-loud shout-out to the top investors. We have Manalza, KB, Twilord, Biotin, Sirius the Skeptic, and Mr. SP. Kale Bennett, this sub is now a business investment. Why, you know what? Do that. That's a great idea. If it gets you less on your taxes, that's a great idea. Dare Denny, Sad, Goku, Ghostly Phantom, Neo Metal Pup, Council of Geeks, SSS06, Carlex, RT0, Marv Animation, Grant Allen, Josh Strider, Ben Raven, I'm Pup, and my favorite Sonic character is Jet the Hawk Tour. I'm slowly starting to hate you, basic content. CL Wells, Press Play to Jason, Joseph Tribble, and Cho Henshin. Thank you, folks, so much for your generosity. And to the rest of you, my channel is The Buffet. Go enjoy yourself another plate of food. Alright, hell yeah.